Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. I'm going to share with you this story that I received. The story goes like this. Hi my brother, can you please post for me my story and share with your audience? Maybe I can find someone who will be able to help me and also offer some prayers for me, because I am someone who is so tormented by demonic spirits. I cannot even rest, whether day or night. These demonic spirits, they just torment me without giving me any rest at all. My story started when I was still young. A few days after I had just turned 12, I was someone who loved playing outside. Even up until it was late at night, I will not come back indoors until my mother will shout at me, telling me to come indoors. So there was this other day, I was busy playing with this little puppy that my parents had just bought for me. As I was playing outside with my puppy, I saw that there was a man who was walking past our house. He was old, and also this man was so frail and so strange in his appearance. He just looked at me, then he walked away. Later that night, I just woke up because I was freezing cold. I was actually shivering. Then I saw that the window to my bedroom had been open. It was wide open, but who had opened that window, I don't know, because I remembered that in the afternoon I had closed that window. What happened to me on that night is the reason why whenever I go to bed, I make sure that the light stays on, and I always have two emergency lights, so that when the power goes off, at least I have backup. I will switch on that first emergency light, then if that one, the battery dies, I'll use the other one. I know that I can spend the whole night without sleeping in the dark. What happened to me is that when I tried to wake up, I saw that that old man that I had seen earlier on walking past our house is the same man who was sitting on the edge of the bed. When he saw that I had just woken up, he rose up and he rushed and he tried to suffocate me using my own pillow. I tried to scream, but I couldn't even move a finger. Then all of a sudden, everything just came back to normal. The window just closed itself. Then the lights came back on. Then I started to scream for my mother. My mother and my father came rushing into my room because they thought that maybe an intruder had entered into my bedroom. They just found me standing on top of my bed. Then I told them about this old man. So they thought that maybe I've been watching a lot of horror movies. But this thing has happened to me several times. Even now that I am married, I have my own kids. I have tried to speak with my husband about this issue, but my husband does not believe that there is another spiritual world that we cannot see. Even the way that I designed our bedroom, we had a big fight because he was telling me that the bed is supposed to be in the middle of the room, but I cannot afford to have the bed in the middle of the room, because sometimes these demonic spirits, they just come from underneath the bed, then they try to grab me. Sometimes they just come out from underneath the bed and then they will try to suffocate me. So I designed our bedroom in such a way that our bed is always lined against the wall, and I feel terrified whenever my husband's phone ring, because sometimes he get these emergency calls at night. Then he has to rush to the hospital because he's a medical doctor. Whenever he leaves me alone, I just feel so terrified. So what I do is that I always sleep with my back against the wall facing the door, because this old man, sometimes when he comes into our bedroom, he opens the door. Sometimes he just walks through the door. Other times I just wake up and I'll see that the door is wide open, and if I try to wake up so that I can close that door, then that old man will start to suffocate me, sometimes using my own blanket. Sometimes he would use the pillows that will be on the bed. There are times whereby I will just wake up, then I will see that someone would have folded all of the blankets and the blankets will be on the floor, and I'll be just lying naked in bed. My brother, I have suffered so much. This spirit used to torment me only at night, but now either day or night I am being tormented by this demonic spirit. Like in the recent days, I went out to do my grocery shopping. After I had finished to do my shopping, I was busy loading my groceries into my car. Then I just heard a voice telling me that, "Madam, you have dropped your handbag." When I turned around, I saw that same old man that has been tormenting me since I was still 12 years old. There are days whereby I want to rush out of the house, then mysteriously either my phone or my car keys will just go missing. I'll search for that phone or for those car keys for hours and hours. When I have given up on that journey that I would want to go, maybe I would want to go to church or somewhere important. When I have given up on that journey, mysteriously right next to me, then I'll see that my phone or the car keys were there all along. Sometimes my phone will just ring on its own, and when I'll take my phone to see who was trying to call me, there will be no missed call. There won't be any message or any voicemail that will be left on my phone. It was worse the time that me and my husband, we were using a landline, because sometimes at night when my husband would be at work, the phone would ring the whole night. Sometimes I'll go downstairs to go and check who was trying to call me. The phone will keep on ringing. Even if I tried to switch it off, it will keep on ringing. Sometimes I'll wake up at night and I'll find out that someone would have switched on the TV. Sometimes the door to the freezer will be open. Strange things have been happening in my life, but I don't know for how long I've been keeping this secret. The only person who knows this story of mine is my husband, and he just gave me his own opinion. He told me that, you see that the work that you do here and there, they always do mental evaluations on you. So if you tell them that you have been seeing demons, for sure you are going to lose your job and you are going to lose your pension money. And there he was right. So now what I do, whether we are having monthly mental evaluations or after 3 months, I make sure that I pretend that I am okay, but deep down I am suffering. I am being tormented by this demonic spirit. I have tried to use sages, I have tried to burn herbs in my house, but all of the things that I have tried to burn or even to bath with, none of them seem to be working. There is someone who told me that if you bath with coarse salt, those spirits will never torment you again. But the night that I used coarse salt, it was as if I had just poured petrol into the fire, because that very night that demonic spirit came into my bedroom. He was very angry, and on that night my husband, he had left for his work like always. That demonic spirit pulled me out of bed and he pulled me out of the bedroom. But when we came out of my bedroom, everything had changed. When he dragged me out of my house, instead of me seeing my neighbor's house and everything that was familiar to me, everything was not there. It was just a forest, a very thick forest. This demon was just pulling me through that forest. Then at a distance, I saw that there was something that looked like a lake, a normal lake, but instead of water, it was a lake of fire, and I heard people screaming as they were thrown into that lake. That demon kept on looking down at me and laughing. So as he was dragging me through the forest, we met another demon that looked exactly like this demon that was dragging me through the forest. Then they spoke, but the language that they used I couldn't understand, but I had an understanding that they were having an argument, as if my time had not arrived yet, because that demon was then forced to turn back and drag me back into my bed. That is how I woke up. My brother, all that I am asking for from your audience is, if there is anyone who is willing to pray for me, because I have been tormented for quite a long time. If I am crazy, I am willing to be on medication, but what I see is real, what I feel is real. Please help me before I lose my mind. Dear listeners, right there was a story from our dear sister. Please let us try to pray for her so that she can no longer have these demonic possessions that she has been facing in her life since she was 12 years old. Such a sad story, such a sad story.